Good morning. Well, I'm awake this early because I've been binging, binge watching something that I have forgotten about. And it's a cautionary tale because we're seeing the same sort of behavior that took place a while ago. Now, I'm taking into consideration that a lot of you people that subscribe to me, a lot of you young people, you have no idea or you may not know about Chernobyl. It happened in 1986. I was 37 years old, about the age of some of you who come and subscribe to me. But I think that it's important because we should have learned from it, but we forget. Again, it happened in 1986, and Ukraine was still part of the Soviet Union. You know, so many of you did not grow up in the world where there was the Soviet Union. But at that time, Ukraine, where Chernobyl is located, was part of the Soviet Union. And I just happened to come across it. I didn't even know they had made a movie about it. And I came across it and I was like, oh yeah. And then I remember how afraid I was. We were very afraid because the core of the nuclear power plant exploded. And all of that went into the atmosphere. And we were watching the skies. Good morning, Patricia Ellington. We were watching the skies because if it went up in the air is going to go around and it's going to come to us. And you know the I looked it up and I looked up some more stuff before I came on here to talk to you guys about it. It's still burning today. And they experienced a nuclear winter, and it will be uninhabitable for 20,000 years. Patricia, do you remember Chernobyl when that happened? Because I had forgotten about it. And hundreds of thousands of people died. The animals today, according to Greenpeace, are now mutants. And initially, they refused to evacuate the city. And when they did, they only did it partially. Ultimately, the entire city had to be evacuated, and beyond the city had to be evacuated. They were getting nuclear radiation readings as far away as Germany and so on. So it was kind of a major event. Yeah, I was scared. I remember, because like I said, I was 37 years old. And now I remember how frightened we were. And HBO has this thing, and I've been binge watching this all night. That's why I'm still up. But the person who they got the firsthand account from, um, he left tapes of what actually happened, and then he killed himself. But the entire world was in fear. And um, bodies were buried under cement. And like I said, it's still burning today. It's still going on. That's kind of scary. And the only reason that the world found out about it was that The world press exposed it. Then the US took satellite photos, and then Germany exposed it. It was a scary time. And I think what got me, Patricia, is that they're responding to it the same way they're doing with COVID. Okay. Um, they don't know. So they either lie or they say everything's going to be all right, but they don't know. And then one side for political reasons and the other side for political reasons. And, they're going back and forth, back and forth. But when I watched this film, that's what happened with Chernobyl. They tried to keep it down like it's going to be all right. We got this. It's under control. But it wasn't, and it still isn't. People are still getting cancer. There's still birth defects. And the reason I say it's a cautionary tale, it's a reminder and a warning that when people say, "Oh, don't wear the mask. It's going to be all right. Go to the party." Then the next thing you know, you get another spike and another whole group of people die. And I think what we have to start doing and what we should have learned, well, from this way back then, what we should have learned is that, sometimes you got to use common sense because people are motivated to tell you to do one thing or the other. You got to think for yourself and say, hey, you know, and it's better to be safe than sorry. A lot of those people, had they evacuated, they would have been alive. Instead, they got buried and buried in such a way where they poured cement over the graves. Okay. And at that point, I thought about the funerals we having now that they said we can't attend, we can't go, or, you know, we can't go see them in the hospital. The same thing was happening. And this film came out before COVID. So I think what we need to do is exercise some caution. Now, what that governor did in Texas, opening everything up, then in Arizona and in Mississippi or wherever, because they are doing it for, I believe, political reasons and saying, well, everything's going to be okay. Or if more people die, then that will make the current president look bad, just like it made the former president look bad. But people are playing in our faces and playing with our lives. And once you see this movie, you realize that this is nothing new. This is something that governments do all the time. They said they didn't want to create a panic. They waited and waited and waited. Ultimately, they evacuated, but everybody was dying, had been dying, the firemen and everything else, you know. And it's kind of sad that, you know, in serious things of this sort, people still think about their interest. And they lost more, and we're losing more by everyone not coming together, not thinking about what's best for the people. You know, I'm with the teachers union. If you're not going to vaccinate the teachers, then don't send the kids back to school because you're telling the teachers that they have to take a risk. And I think that they should be at the top of the list before people my age, even, because I don't have to go anywhere. I can stay right here. But you're asking them to go out and teach the children. And that is important. But first, you have to make sure they're protected. They're holding up the COVID bill. Within that bill is money to retrofit and update and fix the filtration systems in schools to make them safer because in places like Arizona, there's going to come a time when you can't open the windows because it gets so hot and you just can't keep the windows open. That's ideal, but you can't do it. So it's, you know, Going back to Chernobyl, you would have thought they were talking about COVID, only they were talking about a nuclear reactor, because the same conversations are being had now. And that's why I call this a cautionary tale, because we have to take the initiative and think for ourselves. One side says this, the other side says that. You got to trust your own gut sometime and stay alive because, there's just too much going on. This film is excellent, and they stayed true to the information that they obtained from the man and his story and so on. And it is, it's sad though, because you see where so many people didn't have to die. I found myself getting angry and saying, I didn't know that they were refusing to evacuate. All I knew is that there was a cloud floating around the earth and it was going to come get us, Patricia. That's what I knew. You know, my mother was getting canned goods and everything else because we were afraid we were just going to we were going to die. We couldn't go outside because there was going to be nuclear stuff floating all over the world. So, yeah, Patricia, it's about money. Yeah. But I was telling someone if they're so concerned about the minimum wage, we should get together, everybody in the country, and try to get an amendment to the Constitution passed where the people in Congress make $15, make minimum wage. I bet that minimum wage will go up so high at that point. But it's okay for the people who don't make, $15 an hour who need that money. But then you still have waitresses and waiters who are totally out of work most of the time now, who still get the minimum wage, get $2 an hour plus tips. Now, sometimes their tips are good, but what they get in unemployment at this point is based upon the $2 an hour. I didn't know that you know, until yesterday, as a matter of fact. So I think it's something that I would hope that everybody would, watch this. And Patricia, it's on HBO. And hold on a minute. I want to show you what it looks like now. You got a minute, Patricia? Yeah, they never had to live paycheck to paycheck. Okay. Maybe when they were in college and they had to live from mama and daddy check to mama and daddy check, some people, not everybody, but some people. But people now are not even living paycheck to paycheck. Some people are they have nothing. And let me show you some of these images, Patricia, while I'm here. And let's see. Okay. You can tell when I see let's see that I'm getting ready to try this thing. Okay. You see that, Patricia? That's how they left the town. Okay. Can you see it? I'm trying to see if you can see this. Can you see it? Probably not, huh? Oh, okay. They told me I'm still not as good as Sean in doing this share stuff that he does. I have a real problem with it. So, let's see. Oh, okay. Now, that's it. That's how they left. Okay? They had to leave in a hurry. They could only carry what they could carry when they finally evacuated them. And it's really, that's kind of frightening, you know, people leaving shoes and clothes and everything else. And then let's see, the next one is this one here. And in the description, there should be a link to, there's something on YouTube that goes into more detail as to how it looks now. And this is, basically how it looks now. and it's really it's what gets me is that it's still burning, and they just had another explosion of another one of the reactor number 4 exploded a couple of years ago, recently, or I think it was in 2020, I forget, but it's recently, and they are still um, dealing with that. So, and they said it will not go out. It will not go out. So here's the other thing about it. Wait a minute. I'm trying to see if I'm doing this right. I'm always messing up on this. When I do my jewelry lessons, they know now that it's gonna take me a minute to get it right because I still can't figure out how Sean does it so quickly. Okay, here's the last one I want to show you. Yeah, it's not coming up. Do you see it now? Because I can't see it. Let's see. Give me 1 second, Patricia, and I will get it together again. Let's see. There's just one more I want to show you. Okay. I'm gonna hurry and get out of here because I've had browser problems. I've been fighting with the I know you can't see it now. Let's see. Um there it is. That's a playground. Look at that. Can you see it now? But that's a playground. Look at that. Everything's rusted. And the video that I have in the that I put into the can you hear me, Patricia? Let's see. Well, I'm gonna stop that part and see if you can even hear me, because I can't hear myself now. Let's see. Okay. Can you hear me now? Because I'm a mess back here behind the scenes, girl. But it's really sad and that this is going on. But I hope people will take a look. Go look at that video, Patricia, and you'll it's like a ghost town, the way the people had to leave. And like they said, the animals are now Greenpeace has said that they are mutants. You know, they're having birth defects still from 1986 to now, and people are still suffering from it. But it's really interesting. It's good history. I hope Just Lovely sees that because she loves history too. And Patricia, it's before a lot of our peeps were born, you know. And I think that they should know about this and be able to compare and see how the world responds in a crisis. It really is sad. It really is. I'm sorry that I kept going back and forth, but me and my browser have been fighting for the past week. You know, it doesn't want to let me do what I want to do when I want to do it. So I had to clean out my, I hope I say this right, cache. I had to clean out my cache, you know. But yeah, it's really sad. And what's even more sad is how people so driven by politics to protect the image of themselves, to what degree and what lengths they would go. I mean, they to the last minute almost. well, not the last minute, beyond the last minute, after everything had happened and people were falling down dead, the political party in the Soviet Union was saying, they were saying, everything's okay, it's all right, it's just minor, blah, 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 blah. And it wasn't minor. The core had exploded. And now they're saying that it was because of a design flaw, but it's never happened before, and hopefully it will never happen again. But yeah. But anyway, I just wanted to come on here because I've been up all night watching this, and you don't have any kind of cable. I'm trying to think of how you could see it. Maybe by now it might be on YouTube somewhere, you know? Take a look on YouTube and just look up Chernobyl and see if it's on there. And start with that video that I put in the description, and hopefully you'll be able to see it. But it's really a sad situation, and you know, um, let's see. I wanted to put something else you said up here because this is really true. It's always about money, you know, and no matter what. And the Bible speaks to that. And they don't say money is the root of all evil. It says the love of money is the root of all evil. And there are people that worship money, you know. But I hope everybody, you and everyone else takes care and doesn't, you know, take everything that's said at face value. You gotta kind of have to weigh things for yourself. And after watching this, I've decided I'm gonna do what I want to do. What I think is best for me. I'm gonna keep wearing a mask and my face shield, and you know, let them people do what they want to do. But I'm really upset the state I live in, they've also opened everything up. So when they open everything up, I lock down even more. But anyway, Patricia, you have a beautiful day, hon. Thanks for coming over here and sharing this with me and sharing your thoughts with me. I appreciate that. And you know, hopefully everybody will hear this and take a look at the movie and govern themselves accordingly. And I'm going to get in here, back in here, and since I had just had another fight with my browser, I'm going to get back in here and do more of my maintenance that I need to do. Who's going to hell, girl? Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, I see what you did there. The world in a handbasket. Okay. I was like, who's going to hell? Okay. Yeah. Well, you know, that's the way, according to what, prophecies and so on, that's the way it's gonna be for a lot of people, a lot of the world, period, because we're not being good stewards of this earth. And if we're not being good stewards of ourselves, we're not going to be good stewards of the earth. So anyway, hon, have a great day. How is your mom doing, Patricia? Because I haven't seen you in a lot of chats to ask you how she's getting along. Is she okay? Are you still there? I'll wait a second because you might be gone. Somebody else might come live. But I hope she's doing okay. And okay, yeah, look at the video. And you take care and you stay safe because I'm going to stay safe and I'm going to stay in the house. So anyway, see you later. I'll see you out here on these streets. She's doing fine. Oh, that's so good. Yeah, because I think for one while there you were, you had a little worry for a minute. I'm so glad she's doing great. That's wonderful. That's great news. And just stay safe, hon. I'll see you out here somewhere on these streets if me and this browser don't have another fight. Okay. Have a great day, hon, and a great weekend. Bye-bye.